Where can I learn dispensing? Outside the classroom or the laboratory? What we commonly know as tutorials. That has been the one question on the minds of pharmacy students nationwide. Well, look no further. This is PCT 403, General Dispensing II. My name is Evelyn Paul Dogo, and these tutorials is brought to you from the Office of the Academic Director of the National Fellowship of Christian Pharmacy Students, KASU chapter. Before we dive right into the tutorials, some essential materials required for a good dispensing report include the BPC, which is short for the British Pharmaceutical Codex, and here in Kaduna State University, we use the 1973 edition. Now, when looking for any preparation in the BPC, have it at the back of your mind that the BPC resembles a dictionary because preparations are arranged alphabetically, or you could go to the last pages of the BPC where you will find the table of contents or the index rather. Now, the preparations there bear the page numbers as well as the way you can locate any preparation you're looking for. Next, you need a hardcover long note. Always remember, do not start your report on a single page. Always begin on a double page like this. Lastly, you need a red pen for external preparation, a black pen for internal preparation, and a correction fluid to erase errors and for neat representation. How to report PCT 403. First, you have your date, which is usually at the top left corner of your report book. Secondly, you have your question or formulation of preparation. They usually come with the symbol RX. Now, there are some preparations we consider or we call BPC preparations rather. These preparations, whenever it's given to you, you can obtain the ingredients from the BPC, which you would write immediately after the question. The next you have is your comments, followed by your dose calculation. Then you have your table. Then you have your multiplying factor or your reducing factor calculation, and others as the case may be. Then you have your methodology and your label, followed by uses and references. What we'll be looking at on this episode is cetrimide cream BPC. You have to send 5 grams, and this is the direction of use. Don't forget, you always have your dates before this, and then since this is a BPC product, we are to obtain the ingredients from the BPC. And always, before you write down the ingredients, do not also forget to write down your RX symbol as well. Now, these are the ingredients that are required in making cetrimide cream. You have your cetrimide, 5 gram. You have cetosterol alcohol, 50 gram. You have purified water, freshly boiled and cooled, 445 gram. You have liquid paraffin, 500 gram. Now, it is important that after writing your question and your ingredients as obtained from the BPC, you closely look at what you have, as you can obtain some of your comments from here. Now, these are our comments. Comments are necessary because only when they are approved can you carry on with your preparation. Because external preparations do not usually have much implications, the lecturer would just go ahead and say this should be for BB and BB is an adult, and then the rest of the comments, after they have closely reviewed it, you could just have something as such. So the next thing you have is your table. Now, your table is made up of 3 columns. You have your ingredients, your GF, which is short for given formula, and your WF, which is short for working formula. Now, you represent your table this way. Mind you, for the working formula, you are going to fill it up after your calculation. There are values you obtain from your calculation, which are what you will be working with for the preparation. Those values are what you impute in these boxes. Now we go right ahead into our calculations, and for calculations, the first thing you will do is to get your total given formula, which is 5 times, or plus rather, 5 plus 50 plus 445 plus 500 gram, which is equal to 1000 gram. Now, to calculate for your 10% excess, you will have it as this. 10 divided by 100 times 5 gram, the amount you are asked to send. So you have 0.5 gram. Now 5 gram, the amount you are asked to send, plus the excess 0.5 gram is equal 5.5 gram. Now secondly, you would like to calculate your multiplying factor, which is MF for short, is equal to your working formula divided by your given formula. So for here, our working formula is 5.5 gram divided by our given formula, total given formula, 1000 gram. Gram will cancel gram and you have it as 0.0055. There will be no units, so this is what you have. When you have determined your multiplying factor, the next thing you do is to multiply your ingredients with the multiplying factor. As you can see here, we have cetrimide 5 gram times 0.0055, which is equal 0.0275 gram. Secondly, your cetyl-stearyl alcohol 50 gram times 0.0055, you will have 0.275 gram. Next, you have your purified water 445 gram times 0.0055, you will have 2.4475 gram. And lastly, liquid paraffin 500 gram times 0.005 gram, which will give you 2.75 gram. Next, you have your conversion. You would have to convert from gram to mil. Now you have the volume is equal to mass divided by specific gravity. Now most times each of these ingredients have their specific gravity in the BPC. For purified water, specific gravity, SG for short, the specific gravity for water is 1 gram per mil. Hence, your volume will be equal your mass, which is 2.4475 gram divided by 1 gram per mil. Hence, you have 2.4475 mil. Now for liquid paraffin, your specific gravity for liquid paraffin is 0.835 gram per mil. Now your volume will be equal the mass, which is 2.75 gram divided by your specific gravity, which is 0.835 gram per mil, which will give you 3.29 mil. Once that has been established, you have your table this way. You write down all the values you had calculated on the column under working formula. Next, you have your methodology, and your methodology is written in form of paragraphs. 10% excess was prepared to avoid manipulative losses. A wide-mouthed jar was washed, cleaned, and kept ready. Cetrimide 0.0275 gram was weighed and transferred into a clean, dry beaker. Purified water 2.4475 ml was measured and transferred into the same beaker to make a cetrimide solution. Cetyl-stearyl alcohol 0.275 gram was melted with liquid paraffin 3.29 ml with the aid of a gentle heat. The cetrimide solution was transferred into the warm mixture while stirring gently until cold. 5 grams of the prepared cream was weighed and transferred into the readily kept jar. It was closed, polished, labeled, and sent to BB as directed. Next you have is your label. And since it's an external preparation, your borders will be in a red ink like this. And do not forget, something very essential is your auxiliary label for external use only, as it serves as a form of warning to the patient not to ingest this preparation or this drug. So you have cetrimide cream. Since it's an official preparation as well, you just write it down the way it was given. Cetrimide cream BPC, and you were asked to send 5 grams, so 5 grams comes next. Next you have is your direction, and for direction, when you interpret what was given, you have apply cream to the affected area, three times daily. You have the patient's name here and then the date. Whatever it is should come here. After that, you have Department of Pharmaceutics, CASU. You also have your uses and references. Your uses and references can be obtained from the BPC. That will be all for this episode. Don't forget to like this page and drop any comments or questions you have in the comment section, and hit the subscribe button to follow us for more.
These tutorials is brought to you from the Office of the Academic Director of the National Fellowship of Christian Pharmacy Students, CASU.